Welcome to my channel. My name is Emmy from Emmy Evolving. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming back. So let's get started. If I could just get my allergies in control. All right, let's see what's happening here. I asked what this chat was going to be about, and what I heard is next level abundance, security, stability. So things are happening. They're happening fast. They're happening for you. Things are happening. All right. Just getting some cards. Have you guys been having allergies? Have you guys been feeling some weird type of way? Waking up in the middle of the night and just having the weirdest allergies. It's been weird. Lots of conspiracies going around. You know what I'm talking about. Having to do with like microwaves. I'm not even going to talk about it right now. Odd sinus stuff. Odd, just odd stuff. I've been taking the apricot for a bit now. My body, when I detox, it detox pretty fast. So it wouldn't be delayed like this. This feels like something else. And then detox, knowing how my body responds to detox, it makes me feel like I have the flu, and I don't have that part. So I don't know what this is. Probably allergies, which I never had before, but yeah. All right, let's see. Okay. Wow. Okay. So this started with a loss of something, right? The loss of something familiar to you, something that kept you feeling safe. It was difficult. Whatever happened was something that created tremendous amounts of trauma potential. That trauma potential is pushing you forward. It's helping you get to a whole nother layer and level of dimensional awareness. Now, you're going to need to come into union with yourself. You're going to need to allow all of your parts to come together and begin functioning as a whole being, as a full person, right? During this period, and I believe this is the period where pretty much all of us are in, varying stages of that beginning part, you're going to feel like you're going to need to incubate. You're going to have a desire to kind of just be on your own, be very, very quiet, be very, very still, not socializing as much, not wanting to do as much, almost feeling like a shutdown, but it's not a shutdown. When you're incubating something, you're putting it in the appropriate environment for tremendous growth to occur. And much of that growth is happening in a way that cannot be seen by people outside of the egg. So you're in your little egg, and you are progressing, you are growing, you are changing, you are shifting. And the people in your life, they don't quite know what's happening with you. They're not in that egg with you, so they don't know. They won't be able to validate for you exactly what it is that's happening inside of you. You're being tasked to be the one that is aware of what's happening. And what is happening? A rebirth. you're recreating yourself. You're giving yourself the opportunity to come out as a new person. You've been through some stuff. I don't know what that stuff is, but you've been through some stuff. And whatever stuff you've been through, you did not invoke it. You did not call it to yourself. These are just events that are needing to take place in order to accrue enough frequency to get you through to the other side, right? So remembrance in reverse. Do not forget that what you're going through right now is merely a process that is serving sort of like as a means to an end. It's a way to get you through to the other side. Don't make the mistake of having this process make you believe that you're simply being punished, right? I'm sorry, guys. I keep wiping my nose. Very soon, for those of us who are flowing with this process, your struggles, your pain, it's going to be contained. All of the ugly parts are about to be contained. Let it. Allow yourself to receive the next level of abundance, security, and stability. There's a feeling that I'm picking up on. There's a feeling that I'm picking up on, and it seems as though there's a lot of angry focus, right? You've taken the necessary steps to completely change the game for you. Oh, Lord. This is making me laugh. Is it your problem if someone is upset that they can no longer access you? Is it your problem if someone's efforts to derail, to harm, to witness you in a space of suffering has gone to poop and now they're pissed off? Is that your problem? Oh, out of office. It seems like I got a notification. It says out of office. It seems like you've been doing tremendous things for yourself. And people who want to derail, detract, destroy, they're failing miserably. They're failing miserably. Not only are they failing in their attempts to do these horrendous things to you, they're just failing in life, period. Fuck them. Who cares? Who cares? Keep going. Keep going with a smile on your face. I tell you again. Some of the money that's been the most beautifully, most powerfully, and most appropriately spent in my life has been the ridiculous amounts of money that I spent on a lawyer and a cybersecurity firm. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. You know, sometimes, guys, like on a serious note, you have to do what is necessary for you. And if that means you need to invest in yourself, you need to invest in your safety, you need to invest in whatever it is that needs to be invested in, you do that. You do that, okay? That's okay because I'm watching too, Lisa Love. What's up, cousin? You know, and sometimes you need to just splurge and get ring cameras all around the entire property, every entrance, everything. This is amazing. I never used to want to spend much of anything on myself. I used to have such a staunch mindset of whatever extra that's not part of just the bare minimum for survival. Um, I would give it and share it with other people. And now I still do that. I still give and share with others. But also, um, I'm investing tremendous amounts on the next part of my life. And that next part includes the appropriate levels, degrees, and angles of security. I'm just saying. See, it's when you don't invest in yourself, and it doesn't have to be money. It could be just time. It could be just effort, focus, um, self forgiveness. When you don't invest enough into yourself, that's the part that stresses you out because then you don't trust that this is simply a process and it will not destroy you in your totality. It's simply meant to deconstruct the parts of you that that are resisting this next part of your life. I mean, you guys have heard me say, I'm ready. I'm waiting. I'm waiting for the next part. And I know that I'm ready and just simply waiting for the next part, waiting for the next set of instructions from soul. Because now I have no problem investing in my security in every single sense of the word, virtual, physical, real time. Yeah. um, I'll also share this because I'm a bit of an overachiever, right? I'm already very accurate with a pew pew, um, over 100 yards. Um, but something that's fascinated me and something that I've wanted to do is do a competition for that as well, because your girl's into competitions as of lately. So, in order for me to properly prepare for a pew pew competition, I've been taking tactical skills lessons. Yeah, tactical skills lessons. And I excel at that shit. I tell you. Um, have you noticed that the aggression that I was feeling, the anger that I was feeling, has been dissipating rather quickly over the past week and a half? I'm feeling more and more like myself, not just myself, but a stronger, more capable, more aware version of myself. And that's because I've been taking the appropriate steps that are necessary to be prepared for the next level of abundance, security, and stability. It's absolutely a good time to be prepared. Those types of lessons can prepare you for how to handle home invasions and things like that. Man, the skill set that's being developed, I fucking love it. I love it. I love it. It's taking an already existing skill set to a whole nother level. Yeah, I love it. So let's see. You have all of those things happening, everything that has been kind of getting in the way of what you are needing to do has been contained, is being pushed out of the way. That's not something you have to worry about so long as you address it appropriately, right? I'm leaving absolutely no room for anything to enter into my life without my permission, without my consent. I'm leaving no room for any fear, any doubt to continue to exist. I am showing myself any type of circumstance that I am put into. I can more than handle that. This is not me talking big and bad. This is me reiterating a fact that I am seeing day in and day out. Someone's like, what is that? It's a sloth. He drowned. Yes. All right. So invest your time and your effort into cultivating experiences and skills that prove to you beyond the shadow of a doubt your capacity, your ability, how much you can handle. Okay. Your commitment is being tested, but it's in reverse. So this is telling me that your commitment doesn't need to be tested because you're reaching a point where you are choosing to commit. You are choosing to commit to yourself. You are choosing to commit to your process. You are choosing to commit to get to the next part of your journey. Yes, more of that. Keep doing it. More of that. More time and effort for you to benefit you. And I don't mean benefit you by screwing over other people. Remember, that's not the type of community that we are. We don't screw over other people. We don't lie about other people. We work on ourselves. We heal ourselves. We correct the distorted view that we have about our capacity, our strength, our integrity, our value, right? You are your focus. The next level of abundance, security, and stability is headed your way. Do everything you possibly can to prepare yourself to receive this. Do everything you possibly can to prepare yourself to receive this. It's coming. Something amazing has already been prepared for you by creation. Something ridiculously amazing has been prepared for you, just for you. A new romantic cycle begins. So for some, this is a deepening of a love you have with a relationship you're already in, your partner. For others, this is the start of a relationship. You just met someone new and maybe you've been single for quite some time. And this someone new is someone that is so beautifully matched to you, so beautifully matched for you. And it's gonna work out beautifully. You're gonna learn and grow long term. Okay. For others of you, for most of us actually, this has an umbrella meaning of falling in love with yourself again. A new romantic cycle begins. Falling in love with a version of yourself that has been born from the struggle that you are now exiting out of. Ooh, I love that. Falling in love with a version of yourself that has emerged from the depths of the struggle you are now exiting out of. I'm telling you guys, I really like myself these days. I like the person that I am. I have no more space to doubt my integrity, to doubt my value, to doubt the way I am received. And no, I don't believe everyone likes me. I believe the people who are like me like me. The people who exist as an external mirror for my internal greatness. They see me, they like me, there's a resonance there. And for the people that don't like me, go away. It's simple. You don't need to like me. It's perfectly fine. Your feelings are valid. But why are you here? Sound like a you problem. When someone continues to immerse himself in an environment full of people and things they don't like, that's their choice. I'm not going anywhere. This is my channel. Right? So think on that. When was the last time you had that mindset and didn't budge from your space, continued with whatever it was that you were in the middle of doing? If you're in the middle of healing yourself, keep healing yourself. If you're in the middle of working out, keep working out, right? Like that conflict that happened at the gym, you'd think that, oh, we would have just left. I ain't done with my workout. I don't think so. I'm not done. I'll leave when I'm nice and ready. And that's not me just, um, trying to act all big and bad. Like I literally wasn't done. I went ahead and I finished my entire lifting set. And then I went into cardio. And then I was done. No, I'm not going to stay there just to prove a point. I'm not wasting my time. I'm focused on what I need to do. If you can handle your life in that way, and I'm not perfect, okay? But if you can handle your life in that way, where even when there is conflict, even when there is ugliness that is being forced upon you, you're like, no, I'm focused. I'm here to do something. I'm going to do what I need to do. And when I'm done, then I will leave. I will not rush to leave. I will not waste my time by staying longer than I need. I own my space. Whatever space I occupy, it is owned by me, and no one has my permission to run me out of my space, right? Bring love into the situation. And I think the love that needs to be brought into the situation is love for self. I think for many of us, we have been greatly convinced by others throughout our life that we are not worthy of love in all its forms. That includes a type of love that would never allow anyone to disrespect you, that would never allow um, someone to take from you what is rightfully for you. And I mean opportunities, I mean the respect that you've earned, that type of thing, right? Emotions are running high. And maybe the emotions that you're feeling, all of these fluctuations of emotions, are things that are being felt because you're now needing to be very deeply aware of where the wounds still exist within you, right? There's always another layer, a deeper depth of healing that can take place. Just because you heal the surface levels, just because you've addressed the parts of your struggle that have been the most prominent, doesn't mean you've healed everything. That's like the erroneous belief that a lot of people have, that once you have an awakening, AKA your first major ascension cycle, that suddenly you're woke. That you're woke and like you've done the work and you're there, you're ascended. You're ascended. And I'm like, yo, you got ascension cycles your whole life, right? You've had them before that primary cycle was initiated, and you will continue to have them after. You are an ever evolving work of art, right? Is imposter syndrome a residue of not being enough? Imposter syndrome is a residue of never being validated and always being treated in a very hypercritical manner. Imposter syndrome typically is residue of childhood maltreatment, neglect. That's what imposter syndrome is a residue of. We're all enough. But when you're placed in environments that don't understand your value, and then you're repeatedly told that you have no value, you'll believe it eventually. You will. You will. It's crazy. It's crazy. Mm. And I think this is a good time to point out that sometimes we have these opinions of our childhood because we have this expectation of having some hallmark Brady Bunch childhood, right? And then we get angry because of the way our childhood actually was. Like for me, I didn't really have anyone to guide me, to help me, to make me feel safe or anything like that. Um, yeah. I used to be angry about it. But after I grew enough and developed enough maturity to understand the gift I received in never having anyone, um, I stopped being angry about it. It was the greatest gift I've been ever given outside of my children and the love from my husband. That's one of the greatest gifts I've received in life. Why? I was left alone and to my own devices for such prolonged periods that the amount of programming to convince me that I'm not enough was greatly minimized. It was very greatly minimized. I'm the only one in my entire family that does not have congestive heart failure. To tell you something. I'm literally the only one. Why is that? Because I became so accustomed to just being alone and creating walls that when people said things, I was just like, well, fuck you. I don't give a shit. It didn't affect me in that way. It just didn't. As a matter of fact, it was so beneficial for me because most people who work in a public forum, most people who create content for public consumption, virtual influencers, virtual this, virtual that, they seek validation. They seek so much validation. They're all for the likes, the views, the numbers. They want people to like them. They want people to love them, adore them, worship them, follow them. And I'm kind of just like, yeah, you either like me or you don't. If you don't, what are you doing here? Who gives a shit? But get on with your day. Who cares? I don't seek validation from other people. I don't seek compliments. You have to understand the way you grew up, the life that you've lived thus far, has been preparing you for something. It's very hard to hurt my feelings. Very, very, very hard to hurt my feelings. I have to really deeply care and love you for a fairly prolonged period before I will allow you to affect me in that way. I used to think I was broken because I can detach from emotions very easily. I'm not broken. I'm perfectly calibrated for whatever life I'm designed to live. That doesn't mean I'm incapable of feeling. You guys have seen over and over and over, I'm capable of a depth of feeling. I have a degree of emotional maturity that most people do not have. That's okay. It's not a competition. It's not a comparison. It's okay for you to be a whole person and experience the full spectrum of you, both ends of opposing polarities. You can exist centered and experience the entirety of you. And when you can get to that point where you are seated at the center of you and your existence, the next level of abundance, security, and stability are not far behind. It's coming. It is coming. And you can continue to have imposter syndrome where you question. I still have that. I question. I wonder if what I'm doing is enough. I wonder this, I wonder that. It's the very thing that causes me to continue pushing forward. It's the very thing that continues to encourage my growth, the further blossoming of me as a person, the further loss of the fear of what people might say, might think when they witness me in a vulnerable space processing a tremendous life. Yeah, it's still there. And it's okay because whenever that pops up, it's a reminder. Keep pushing forward, not out of fear, not out of avoidance, but because you deserve to know the person you are when you finally work through all of that imposter syndrome, when you finally allow yourself to see clearly how much you're actually capable of, right? Work through your fears, but it's in reverse. What do you think this is telling us? Work through your fears in reverse. I think it's telling us that for many of us, the concept of working through our fears is nothing more than this intellectualized effort to leave all that fear behind, not process it, not acknowledge it, but just leave it behind. And hopefully we can pretend that we're now not afraid. Your fear is like your shadow. It follows you everywhere. And the brighter your light becomes, the more defined that fear and your perception of it is. But the higher you allow your light to travel, the shorter and shorter the shadow becomes. That fear suddenly is something that you are standing on top of with no worries, no considerations of it. You're simply standing on it, looking forward at what is being presented to you. Expect powerful change, but it's in reverse. The powerful change is already occurring, and the most powerful types of change are often the types of change that you don't realize is happening until well after the fact, until you've been shifted so tremendously that you are now a different version of yourself. Soul is amazing in the way it organizes its process, the way it designs your process. Rebirth, giving yourself a second chance. But it was in reverse. Giving yourself a second chance. No. No. Giving yourself a second chance means you've given up on something and you're trying something new. You're trying something else. Right? I've never given myself a second chance. What does that mean? That means I look at my life circumstance, whatever it is that I'm dealing with, and I see one of two things. Either I'm being blocked from doing something for my own protection, at which point it's time for me to recognize this as an invitation to redirect my efforts, or this is an invitation for me to rise even higher, apply more of myself, more effort, more grit, so that maybe I can, I don't know, get an even better understanding of even how much more capable I am now versus then. But at no point am I giving up. At no point am I going to view what I am doing as a failure and I need to just give up. I might think that for a second before I recognize, okay, now I'm being a little extra with myself. It's time for me to focus and figure out which of the two is this. Is this an invitation to double down and rise higher? Or is this a time I need to acknowledge that I'm being redirected by soul? Which one is it? What is it? Right? Surrender, letting go of the darkness. For some of us, you have to just surrender to your process. You're not surrendering to anyone else. You have to surrender to your process. You have to allow the process to occur. So I hold a lot of tension and trauma in my body. And every now and again, I will have a body worker come to my residence and work on me. A body worker is not a masseuse. Oh, no, it's not a masseuse. Masseuse is, oftentimes you call a masseuse for relaxation, right? Body work is not relaxing. at all. So body worker comes over. I already know this is going to be a session of punishment. It's going to hurt like a mofo. But there's an objective here. There's an objective. In order for me to receive the benefit, I have to surrender to the work being done. Right? When someone does body work on me, they're using their elbows, they're using knuckles. It's painful. They are breaking down the muscle fibers, the adhesions, they are releasing the fascia. It is painful. Painful. And how do I make it easier for myself? By surrendering to the process, by breathing, by knowing this is something I cannot do for myself. I cannot break up that clump of trauma that's stuck in my muscle. So what are my options? Surrender to the process of being assisted in a painful way with benefit arriving after the fact, or fight it and risk further injury. Those are your options. Those are your options. What are you going to do? Take the 30 minutes, 45 minutes, 1 hour of pain, or risk tearing a rotator cuff. What are you going to do? Yeah. Oh, do you do body work, Teresa? Yeah, it's definitely not a spa massage. Elbows on ribs. Ooh. But I've been injury free. The one time I could feel that I was going to injure my shoulder badly injure my shoulder. What happened? Body worker came, broke up all that trauma, released. Man, my shoulders felt so good for days. For days. For days. Haven't had any knee injuries. Why? Because the body worker will grind the shit out of my quads and hamstrings. Make my toes curl. But it's absolutely worth it, right? It's worth it. That pain is temporary. It brings your attention to what needs to be done. And now it's like, if I start to feel my muscle getting tight, it's a thing of, man, if I'm going to have to call them to help me, I should just stretch. I should just stretch. I should seriously stretch and ease up. I need to ease up. It's not worth hurting myself. So sometimes that pain you experience is helping to program you how not to make things worse before it makes things worse. Why do we resist the things we know is good for us? Because for many of us, we've been programmed to believe we don't deserve the goodness that is for us. And for others of us, we've been bamboozled by these lying ass hoes that if it's difficult, then you're doing it wrong and you're being punished. And if you're living right, then life will be easy. No, it won't. Life is not designed to be easy. Life is designed to be lived fully, wholeheartedly, and deeply. Are you kidding me? You can aim for an easy life. You will not grow. You will be denying the very things that are intended, designed to help you to grow. You will not reach that next level of abundance, security, and stability. Are you able to detect you're about to injure yourself before it happens? For me, yes. Yes, my, what are they called? Muscle spindle fiber bundle, whatever the the spindles at the ends of my muscle groupings, um, the part of the fascia that kind of comes together and ends up becoming the tendons and the ligaments and stuff. Um, those are highly active in me, so um, I can feel when my body part is about to be severely injured. It's a weird thing. That's how I've avoided most of my injuries. I can feel it. Um, but I can't feel my body's positioning until it's right at the cusp of being injured. I lack proprioception. It's lovely. I run into stationary things. Do y'all have that? Do y'all have that quirk where you can avoid an injury, but you definitely walk into stationary things? Because, I can't be the only one. All right. Time in reverse. There's no more time for you to um, convince yourself that it's not really happening for you. This is happening for you. It's happening for you. It's happening in real time. It's been in the process of happening. You're seeing the actual potentiality coming to fruition. Dominance, believing in yourself. It's time to believe in yourself. It's time to believe in yourself. Um, Love 102. No, I just keep on going. I don't feel anything until it happens. I think you do feel it. I think you do feel it, but you've learned to silence it. If you look back after you've injured yourself, obviously, if you look back, there's a little bit of a tell that lets you know you're about to be injured, but you don't pay attention to it. You ignore it. Look back and you'll begin to see. It took me a while to teach myself to do this, but there's a little bit of a tell. I get like a mild twitch, a mild spasm, like my body's already telling me, like, no. So I've learned to no longer suppress that. And like one time I wasn't paying attention and the stove was on. It's a gas stove, and the pot that was on there had a metal handle, and I went and grabbed the handle, and before anything registered, like as soon as I made contact, I let it go. Right? I felt myself shield it, and I let it go. And it's more than just that knee-jerk reaction that your body does to protect yourself from getting burnt. I know that for myself at this point. It's more than that, because I hesitated to even touch it. So right when I touched it, I let it go, and I was like, I know it. My body hesitated. It was a slight hesitation, which caused me to be like, what am I doing? And then I touched it. You'll notice how your body communicates to you. Contemplating the future. It's time for you to really, just come to terms with the fact that you're about to be provided for. These different opportunities that are necessary for your growth, for your expansion, they're coming. Let them happen. Excuse me. Give yourself the space. Give yourself the space to allow these things to occur. The next level of abundance, security, and stability are headed your way. Some of us will allow it. Others of us will not. And what needs to end up happening is, if you're one of the ones that allows it, celebrate that, encourage it more and more and more. If you're one of the ones that you see that you don't allow things to happen for yourself, okay, now you're aware. It's time to allow things to happen for yourself. And you can use certain types of prompts. You can say things along the lines of, this is very uncomfortable for me, but I need to let this happen. I need to see this through. Or I want to say no, but I know I need to work on this. So I'm going to say yes. It's uncomfortable, but I'm going to say yes. I'm going to do it. Right? Like working on allowing myself to receive for the people that I trust who offer me things or gift me things. And they then tell me, like, Oh, I then tell them, okay, this is really difficult for me. Thank you for helping me to learn to receive. Okay, let's do it. Right. And it's very difficult for me, but it's becoming easier and easier. The people that I trust, um, that help me with this process, now it's like, thank you. I don't have to keep saying, like, this is really hard for me. I'm going to say yes. I need to say yes. Now it's shifted to like, thank you. I so deeply appreciate you. You're always so generous and so kind. Thank you. Genuinely meaning it, like, thank you. Because it's more than just what I'm receiving, it's what they're helping me to learn as I allow myself to receive. That there are still pockets of safeness in this world where, I don't have to always be on guard. I don't always have to be waiting for someone to screw me over. And, you know, I think we all have to work on cultivating the environment that we're in. Because if you're consistently in an environment where you feel unsafe and you're waiting for the other shoe to drop, you will never give yourself permission for that next level of abundance, security, and stability. I had to go through so much to get to this point of realization for myself. Because there was a period where I was like, you know what? I don't want any type of success at this point. I don't want any type of financial benefits. Because why? Because people go crazy with me when they realize that I'm successful. It's fucking crazy to me. It's crazy to me. And I had to go through this period where I gave literally everything away to appease people. It was still not enough. It was not enough. So I got to a point where it's like, you know what? No, I'm going to give myself permission to be successful because there's things I need to do. And I need to have a degree of stability in order to have more time and energy to cultivate the skills to do even more of what I'm here to do. If you're going to wait for people in your environment, people in your life to give you permission to get to that next level of abundance, security, and stability, it will never happen for you because unfortunately, for all of us, there is at least one person in your life that means the world to you who will never give you permission to reach the places you belong. They will never give you permission to do that. Never. Who cares? Do it anyways. Do it anyways. I'm of the mindset the more you tell me no, the more I'm going to ignore you and just keep doing whatever the fuck I'm doing anyways. I've been like that my whole life. Do that though. Do that. I mean, unless the person is trying to keep you safe, and know the difference between someone lying to you about you shouldn't do that because it's not safe for you, and when someone genuinely cares and sees that you're about to be harmed by the decisions you're making. Okay. I got to get going. Class is going to start. Please give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please do subscribe. Turn on that notification bell. Join me when I'm live. Today is the 5-5 portal. I hope everyone, if you're celebrating Cinco de Mayo, I hope that you celebrate in a safe way. And I will see you guys again very soon.